Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I like. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the season finale of The Blacklist, as well as the latest episode of Rush Hour. Now, when it comes to The Blacklist, I'll go ahead and talk about, obviously, like, the big reveal, like, nearing the end of the episode. That freaking Liz is still alive. I freaking knew it. I knew it. I started doubting myself, but I shouldn't have, because I was like, obviously you had that mentality of like, it's like, okay, there's no way they're going to, like, obviously it's like, there's no way they're going to kill Liz off. I should have stuck to it, because I was like, there is no way they are going to kill Liz off, because there's too many questions unanswered. It's just like, because she's literally the only reason why Red would stay around, because he even said in his episodes, when it's all said and done, like, Liz was the only reason why he was here. It's like, once Kirk was dealt with, he was going to leave. But that big twist, like, she was still alive, and I freaking knew Nick was behind it. I was like, I knew that whole situation was a little suspicious, like, okay, he's helping her fake her death, but I didn't know that, what's the older lady that's on Red's side? I think her name's like Kathleen or something like that. Like, I didn't expect her to be behind it too. But I guess it's like, of course you're going to need some. It should have made sense to me. Like, they needed someone else's help. I kind of didn't expect Tom to be in on it too. But that's like, of course, she, her husband and would be in on it too. But it's like, I guess because they kind of ain't got no more secrets between them. But it's just like, I was thinking like, oh, she made that decision by herself, and it's like, nope, Tom was in on it, and so was she. It's just like, everyone was freaking lied to. I love the fact is that, just like, in the moment you hear that reveal too, like, she's like, Tom and Agnes are in danger, and then Kathleen was like, it's not just them that's in danger, and Red kind of looks, I was like, freaking what? She's alive, isn't she? Literally 3 seconds later, it showed you. I was like, oh my god, I knew it. I love that twist, dude, but it's like they legitimately had me go, I should have believed in my TV knowledge to be like, there's no way they're going to kill off a main character, but it's like, they did a good job of making you believe. I mean, it's like, the fact of the matter is, it was meant to make you believe, it was meant to make Red believe it was true, just because, it's understandable why she did what she did, is because she was basically like, Red, you've lied to Liz about everything. You haven't told her the truth about why this is all happening to her, about her past, and he made the choice of like coming out and coming out into the shadows and like being a part of her life. He wanted to be near her so badly because he cares about her so much, but he wasn't able to protect her from this situation. So, her daughter Agnes would have been drawn into this. It's a situation where even Red himself can like, the situation spiraled out of control. He can barely protect Liz from what's coming. So there's, Agnes herself would have been in constant danger. So she made the decision. She talked to those two about it, and it was Liz's decision ultimately about what to do. And it's like putting Red in the dark, and it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, for one, he's going to be happy that she's alive, obviously, but it's also going to be like, he's going to be upset the fact that she lied to them this entire time. And obviously, we had the big reveal that Kirk is actually her dad, and it's just like, we didn't expect to see that. It's like, because this entire time you've been under the impression, that's why it's always seemed like, why is he going after her so hard, so heavily? Why is he after her and her child? I was under the impression, I was like, okay, maybe he is working for her mom, because that's always been the long impression, like, oh, her mom is still alive. Maybe she is. We can finding out that her dad's still alive. But that was the thing, though, like, her dad's supposed to be dead, because I think, Red told her that basically there was an argument between her mom and her dad, and things kind of got a little out of hand, and Liz was a little kid, and she ended up shooting her dad and killing him. So, but now Kirk has both her, Tom, and Agnes, and it's just like, where do we go from here? Because I mean, even Wrestler and Harold know now, and they're probably going to be a little upset. The rest of the team will be upset too when they find out about her faking her death. It's like, yeah, you want to get away from Red and everything, but it's like, you could have at the very least told us. You like, we couldn't have kept a secret or something like that. But she had to make it. She had to make it look good. But that, I mean, that's just talking about that. Like, there's much, there's other things to talk about in this episode. It's just the fact of the matter is, Red was dead set on killing Kirk. He wanted revenge. He was going to end this. And I did like that condition of, like, everyone was a little uneasy with the whole situation. Obviously, even Haran and Wrestler were obviously against, well, definitely Haran, but Wrestler, he's kind of like, just the choir boy. He believes in justice. He believes in the system, even though it doesn't always work. He believes in it, like, he believes in, wholeheartedly what he believes in, that what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing. And the same thing for Harold too, that, and, I like the fact is that he does legitimately, Red legitimately admires that about them. The fact is they believe so strongly in their beliefs. Like, for instance, Harold always, like, Harold could always kind of put, his own opinion of Red aside to do the work that they did. It's like, you wake up every day and you decide what to believe in, and what not to. And, because basically Harold was like, do you want us, help you out with this whole Kirk situation? And Red's like, no, I want to kind of keep you and your team away from this. You and your people were good to Liz. You were essentially like her family. And he's like, and I will care for you because of that. You are actually good people. And, that's, obviously he wants to keep them out of this, obviously, because it's like something he's as a criminal, it's okay for him to dirty his hands. But I think on some levels also because they're so important to Liz, in his mind, I guess he'd be like, if they ended up being a part of this, like this ended up backlashing on them in some shape or form, then he would have, felt like he was betraying Liz, because he basically putting the people that Liz cares about so much in a situation where they'd have to kill someone, and he probably wouldn't think Liz would forgive him. So I think she would be a main factor in why he wanted to keep them out of this. I did like his plan about how he was going to draw Kirk out. Basically, the oil he stole last episode ended up being where he... Basically, it was oil that was basically used, by terrorists to kind of fuel terrorist agenda. And basically, they were going to make it, using the FBI, arrest like the guy that's transporting it and make it look like, oh no, Kirk's been transporting some oil that is connected to terrorists and stuff like that. It was essentially a means of drawing Kirk out, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I did like Red, because they were like, okay, so this is why you stole it. But then Red was kind of like, I also stole it because I am a criminal after all. Don't forget that aspect to it. But it was kind of brought up to a small degree in this episode, the whole Tom and Scotty thing too. Hearing it's like, okay, I'm surprised that you're going to want so much to kind of be a part of this plan about getting revenge. He's like, I thought you'd be kind of busy because, the whole, your mom offering you a job and everything, getting to know her. And essentially Tom's like, he needs to focus on revenge first. He needs to get this done first before he can even worry about something like that. And I did like the fact is that he kind of played Red and his people. And like Kathleen played it like so well. Like she seemed like, oh crap, Tom escaped from us. It's like, just the fact is that you were in on this. That just blew my mind. At first I was like, oh gosh, she's in on it. Don't, she betrayed Red. But I was like, no. And then like the way she was acting, I was like, you didn't betray him. You did this because she's like, basically, I'm there to protect you from yourself, even when when you don't see it, that you don't even see that you need to be protected from yourself. But when it came down to the whole situation with Kirk, like everyone had their own different opinions. Harold was kind of going along with it, but he was a little hesitant. Basically, he didn't want to go. He kind of felt bad because he was like, I didn't want to be like, because Samir was like, basically, she was like, she was essentially like, for justice, sometimes you have to do kind of a bad thing. And she kind of she doesn't go into too much detail, but she kind of talks about the fact is that she kind of did a bad thing for the sake of justice and ended up, eventually she did kind of get over it because she, you kind of accept it, that was just the thing to do. It just had to be done. and it doesn't kind of eat away at your soul. And Harold, you become okay with it. And Harold's like, he's afraid of reaching that point. I mean, let's not forget, Samara handed her brother over to Reddington. Like, what's that? That was early. Yeah, this was early season. I don't know why I kind of waited to think about it. But yeah, she did have to turn her own brother over, for the sake of, because who her brother was, and and that kind of broke her heart. But it also was it was part of it was a cog in the whole plan to kind of help Liz, which that kind of came up in this episode too, because Liz, all of this started for Liz. Obviously, they cleared her name about being kind of like a Russian spy / terrorist, but she also killed that guy. I forgot what he wasn't. Was he a senator or not a senator? I forgot what the dude's position was. The guy she killed in the season 2, like basically Reddington wanted to clear. He kind of was bringing up Diaz. He's like, I want you to kind of clear her name of that situation. He kind of wanted, because it's like she was still, being, that was still hung over her head that she killed him. Obviously, like the other stuff was cleared up, but it's like that particular thing. It's like, no, like that's what was kind of still hanging. Like that was something that was still besmirching her name. So I guess Reddington wanted to kind of clear the tables of that. It's like we haven't really seen where that was going to go, but maybe that's something we'll see next season when the show returns. But it's just like, but when it came down to it, it was like Wrestler was there, and it's like, I don't want you to do this, like. Like we have to do the right thing. And then, Red's like, the fact of the matter is that you do believe in doing the right thing, because of the whole situation with Liz. You did your job, and you were, because, even Samara was like, she could tell, like, she's like, that even that whether he admits it or not, Wrestler probably took Liz's death even more, like, just as hard as Haran did. And, he's just not kind of letting it show. And it's just like, he was there with a gun to even Reddington said, don't do this. Like, I will pull the trigger. And he's like, I know that would you rather put a bullet in me? Or would you rather me put a bullet in Kirk? And it's like, he was struggling with it, and he ended up pulling his gun down. And that kind of affected him, because he was like, the situation, like, obviously it didn't end up being Kirk, because the whole thing was upset up, but it's like, well, I mean, there was a change in plans, because Kirk didn't reveal himself, because he actually left because he heard about, Tom leaving. And it's just like, it was kind of like, that moment where Wrestler was kind of like, it's a good thing, because Harold was like, it's a good thing that Kirk wasn't there, but it's like, because Wrestler's like, I would have let him shoot him just because I did want Kirk dead for what he did to Liz. So, but man, I mean, it's out in the open. Like I said, Kirk has Liz, Tom, and Agnes, and even Reddington's like, okay, Kate, so what are we going to do with you? It's like, she betrayed him, but she had her reasoning for doing it, though. Because she kind of brought it up. The fact is, like, she brought it up back before that situation with Liz, when that situation with Liz happened, being like, you made her believe that you could protect her. You have made us all believe that. So it's just like, she did what she thought was right. And it's just like, honestly, the whole situation would have kind of gone on without a hitch if that guy hadn't spotted, if that guy who's working for Kirk hadn't been following Tom. If Tom was just a little bit more careful, it probably would have seen that come, because he was under the impression like, oh yeah, Kirk would be there, and Reddington would have put him down and thought that was kind of the end of it. It's like, no one's actually looking for us anymore. I thought they were safe, but sadly that's not the case. But I can't wait till next season. Obviously it's coming back in the fall. But I can't wait to see like where we go from here. Maybe finally Liz will get some answers about this whole situation, about why the whole situation with her dad, and the truth. I mean, I'm sure her grandfather will really appreciate the fact is finding out that she's still alive, and I don't know. I feel like maybe at this point Reddington will finally let them meet and get to know each other in this situation. And now moving on to this week's episode of Rush Hour, where we have Carter and Lee being in a position where they basically have to look after a witness. Basically, she's witness to, like, because she worked for this guy who's basically a very powerful man, kind of done some very bad things, and she was basically going to like testify against him, and it's up to Carter and Lee to protect her. I mean, obviously things aren't that easy when you got like that drone coming up and blowing up that crappy car. And I love the fact is that Carter was so pissed about it. He's like, the fact of the matter is, I asked for this specific car, this an awesome car with on rims, and then Donovan was like, really? I thought you were I thought really? I could have sworn you said that you wanted a piece of crap car. And I love the fact is when he was kind of like checking them for bugs, and he was between Carter's legs, he's like, there, you're clean. And Carter's like, I don't feel clean. I don't think I'll ever feel clean again. Because it was like, it did seem like Donovan was enjoying that a little too much. But basically that situation happened, and it kind of was coming back as like, okay, he tracked us down. So obviously someone in the, amongst the cops is like, leaked some information. And I love that it came to Donovan, and Captain Cole was like, okay, Donovan, you wouldn't willingly try and let Carter get killed, would you? And he's kind of like a little like, no. And it's like, it's a little sad that they had to ask that. It's like, they know he doesn't like Carter, and it's just sad that they actually have to ask him, like, you didn't actually, set the situation up just to have Carter killed, right? It's like, it's kind of sad because it's like, I'm not that much of an asshole. Do you honestly think I am that much one? It's kind of like, they're probably like halfway joking, halfway serious in that type of situation. But I did love this episode being just the fact is that Carter is trying so hard to impress the witness. Her name's Nina, and basically doing all this stuff. Like, the fact of the matter is, even Lee called him out, talking about the fact that you're standing there, you're like, essentially, like, he's standing there, his chest out, and he's trying to flex every muscle in his body. And I love the fact is, and he was pretty badass this episode, running around with that bag full of stuff that he got from the police station. And it's just like, for one, he was doing all that stuff. He got across that zip line. I mean, with a spatula, that was pretty awesome. But with that bag, and he's running super fast. So I'm like, wow, Carter, that's man, you're pretty good to be running around and doing all that with that heavy ass bag on you. But I love the fact is that, he was like, basically like, Lee, be my wingman. Basically be in a situation where it's like, you kind of make me seem like the most desirable guy ever. Just kind of show how awesome I am. And Lisa's like, but, I can't lie. He's just like, come on, just do it. And basically, then when she came back down, Lee just kind of not into it. It's just like, Detective Carter is like the most desirable guy ever. And then Nina's kind of like, what? And Carter's like, I don't know what you're talking. He kind of gives Lee like a what the fuck type of look, and he's just like, he just got to the country, so it's that type of, it's just like, he's kind of new to everything, so you shouldn't kind of pay too much attention to the weird stuff he say. I was very suspicious of her. I was thinking like the reason why they ended up being able to track Nina and them down every so often, I was like, oh, she's behind all this, isn't she? She's playing victim, like, oh, I'm testifying against this guy, but I was like, actually, she's the one behind all this bad stuff, isn't she? And she's just setting him up, or it's like, it was either that or that she had some illegal stuff that she was doing, but she needed to take him out to kind of clear the way for her illegal stuff. That's what I was kind of thinking, is like, because she was a little suspicious, and Lee kind of caught her to that little suspicion, but it turns out the suspicion was the fact is that she was having an affair with that guy. That's why, like, she ended up kind of having a little intimate knowledge about him. But the whole having an affair with him was something she kind of omitted from the police and her, like, testimony. Obviously it wasn't her testimony yet, but like, she didn't let the cops know about that information, and that changes everything, because basically the defense can be like, oh, everything she's saying is that of a jilted lover. Like, that's the reason why she's trying so hard to take him down. And it's just like, okay, obviously that wasn't the case, but it's just like, she's talking about the fact that she was too embarrassed to tell them, because basically they already had they had a small shot of taking him down, because he's like a pretty well off individual that, it's kind of going to be hard to take him down, but this decreases that chance even more. And because of that, she decided, it's like, okay, like, I kind of screwed up, so I'm not going to put you guys in danger anymore. That basically she's going to try and make this right. And she kind of went off her own, which was very stupid in my opinion. It's because it's like, you're literally dodging the two of the few people who know where you are, that's trying to make sure that you don't get killed, and you're going to run off on your own. Like I said, she did her own thing, and it's kind of like, it's okay. I get it. I get the sentiment. She was trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, it's like, that was extremely, extremely stupid, because you could have got yourself killed. Nevertheless, I did like the fact is that when Carter and them were trying to hide, basically it's like I got a place. There's someone I know we can go to nearby. I was like instantly like, okay, we're gonna hide with Gerald or whatever. It's like nope, not Gerald. Apparently it was a guy that Carter most recently arrested because the guy was a streaker, and it's just like it's like it's not. Don't worry, it's not indecent exposure. He was just streaking. It's like, well, what's the difference between them? He's like streaking's funny, but it's like kind of using that against the guy. Like the fact is you haven't told because he hadn't told his wife about it. And then his wife was there just like, oh, so how do you know these cops and whatever? And he came up with some excuse. Was it like, it was like a bowling league they're part of or ballroom dancing? I forgot what it was. But he's like, yeah, how long have you known him? And Carter's like, for years. And she's like, it's funny because he doesn't do that. And he's like, yeah, but that's kind of a lie he came up with to hide the fact is that he's been streaking. And she's like, what? And then you hear pieces of the conversation where she's kind of like, again? So it means like he's done this before? It's like, man, because he tried so hard to hide this fact from his wife. Like the fact is he got arrested in the whole situation. He's trying so hard to hide it. I mean, sadly, it's kind of gotten pushed out to the surface now. But I did also love the fact is we ended up finding out a little bit about Gerald, a little bit more about Gerald in this episode, because he did obviously pop up this episode and he helped out, because he helped them get around town because he was riding a school bus. And it's just like, okay, why'd you steal this school bus? It's like, no, he didn't steal it. Now, it really wasn't explained, so I didn't know. There's two ways of interpreting that. Either he works as a mechanic, and this is one of the vehicles, the school bus he was working on, or he's a school bus driver. And I'm kind of thinking maybe the latter might have been the case, but he was just kind of like, don't tell anybody, because I want to keep my credibility on the streets. I can't let people know that I got like a job. So it's kind of like he's a full-time, quote unquote criminal, part-time bus driver. I do see where some of your credibility would be lost. I mean, it's not even like you're the best criminal anyway, so it's like, what reputation are you really protecting? But hey, like I said, that situation is what it is. But I did love the fact is we ended up finding out. Yeah, I mean, obviously, kind of saw it coming near the end. It's like it's not just the guy that's on trial that sent all these people after her to kill her. It's like, no, the person who did it was his wife, because his wife found out about the affair. She wasn't trying to protect, she was trying to protect her husband by getting rid of the witness, but by getting rid of her, basically the charges would be dropped, he'd be fined, but then, it'd keep his company in a good position if he's found not guilty. So basically she wanted to make sure the company was still worth something, so that's why she wanted to kill Nina and this whole situation, protect him, so that she can protect her future investment, because the moment everything's said and done, she would divorce him and take control, take at least a major control of the company, and all the assets that come along with it. So, but sadly at the end of the episode, Carter didn't get the girl, even though he wanted to so badly. I mean, I did because even Lee kind of gave him kind of a setup moment. It was just kind of like, I mean, obviously, Carter was always periodically throughout the episode getting upset about everything he's doing. It's like the fact is, there was they were getting shot at, and basically he dove on top of her, and Carter's like, get off her! I mean, get up! And then the fact is when he was ziplining across, he grabbed her and zipped across. And, I did love the fact is that Carter was like, am I a bad person for this? This whole being caught up, just how beautiful she is. She has just those beautiful lips, just everything about her is just beautiful. And then Lee was like, no, it doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you bad. It makes you dumb, but not bad. And it basically yo, Lee, tell me you've never been in a situation like this before. And he was like, I've been in, basically when he was a traffic cop, that basically he was writing a lady a citation. And then Carter's like, oh, he's like, I was caught up by her beauty. She was very beautiful. And I almost hesitated to give her citation. And then Carter's like, oh yeah. And then he was like, but then I composed myself and gave her the citation that she deserved. And it's just, and he had the most serious look on his face. And Carter's like, and that sort of didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. But, sadly at the end of it, he didn't get to be with the girl. Basically, she's going to go live in London with her sister to kind of get away from this whole situation, kind of put distance between her and that family. And basically being if Carter wants to, he can come and visit her and stuff like that. So, That was kind of a little sad, but still a job well done on everybody's part, and a really nice episode. Really liked it, and it's just like, I mean, granted, I'm sure that in some shapes or form, what he did was very unprofessional, because it's like you shouldn't be falling in love with the witness like that. You shouldn't be crushing on them so hard, because it is super, super unprofessional. But it's like, it's kind of like you kind of have to let Carter slide because he isn't your typical cop. So he's got his way of doing things, and it gets results, I guess. So it kind of works out in the end, I suppose. So, but like I said, really nice episode. Really liked it. But that's really all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.